America was never great.
It's another beautiful day here in the studio, and you are welcome to another edition of Unscripted with Tiwa Says. And of course, I don't do this alone. I do this with a guest, and as you can see, my guest, this is Dapuye. I'm sure you can still remember his voice, but let him greet you people in his own voice.
Hello. Hotep.
Opa. I don't know what language you use though. I don't know, maybe it's cussing or like that.
No, it's all love.
Okay, you're welcome to the show. Okay, so you know how we do this is unscripted. We just, go with the flow, say it as it comes. So I'm just going to be starting by asking you that what do you think from the recent happenings or from the few weeks, that we have had in 2025? What's the feelers you are getting? How do you think this year is going to go?
Well, personally, I'm positive about the year. I feel like a lot is going to be accomplished this year, but I also feel the resistance, right? I feel like it's not going to be an easy ride, even though I'm confident it's going to be victorious. Yeah,
Okay.
but I feel the friction, and I mean it's just to build the spirit to overcome.
That's on a personal level.
Yeah, on a personal level.
Okay, so on a national level, as in this country.
Well, this country is something, I'm particularly passionate about like the state of Nigeria, and it's deep for me, right? It stems from way back. It stems from the colonial regime. It stems from all of that, slavery, all of that. I feel like that is the ripple effect of what and where we are
Right
as
now.
a state. Yeah. Yeah. So if you ask me to understand Nigeria properly and what's happening now, you need to go back. A lot of people miss this fact, right? They just feel like Nigeria is going to be great. I don't feel like it's going to be great. I feel like we need to really look into what it really is, right? And handle it as such. I'm saying all this because things are still not really good,
Of
right?
course.
Fuel price has gone back to like 970,
It has
980.
gone down now. It was one something before
Yeah, it
now.
was
One
one
to
something.
one
It came down to like
nine.
120, 920 something. So it has gone up now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, to
So it's
nine.
at
Okay, yeah, true,
970 something
yes,
now,
yeah.
and it's going up. So it's pathetic to know that we have crude, right, and fuel is not affordable. The maths doesn't add up. There are some inconsistencies in between.
True.
Right, and these are the things we need to check. It's deep. If I start talking about it now, yeah.
So you don't even see Nigeria being great in the nearest future.
Greatness, like greatness don't just happen, right? So things, I feel like we do not have the attitude to drive us to greatness yet.
Wow.
Yes, because
After 60 plus years.
that 60 plus years don't really mean nothing, because we're still where we are 60 years ago, if you ask me, because we're running on colonial education, colonial government, colonial everything. So like, what do you expect? So these are the things we really need to check. Yeah, so the whole damage is in the detail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take it from the world perspective. With this recent fire in California and New York and everything, and with Trump, being the new president of America and everything. Do you believe, because a lot of people have been saying that there's an agenda somewhere, and then with the affiliation with Elon Musk and all these things, so some people are thinking that there's an agenda, or that Trump is the Antichrist, or something, like something funny. And then people are also seeing sightings UFO and all that extraterrestrial, what?
Terrestrial.
Terrestrial beings.
Terrestrial.
Terrestrial beings, yeah, true. So what's your own take on all that?
Well, there is always an agenda. We need to know that, like always. It's politics really, you know. And all this to me is a facade. I stopped following this whole thing a long time ago when I realized that it's all a play, right? Because there's this Simpsons. I don't know if you know Simpsons cartoon.
Oh yeah. So I've
Yeah.
been seeing a lot that they predicted all these things
So you
happening.
can see that there is an orchestrator somewhere. I'm not even talking about spirit anything. I'm talking about like
Humans, yes. Because it's amazing because you look at when the Simpson cartoon when it was
in the
when it
80s,
was
in the
yes,
90s.
and then the things are happening, and then you're wondering like,
so you have to
what's happening?
understand that the world is ruled by Freemasons, right? It is deep like that, right? So we are running on the script, the matrix. We are in the matrix, right? So you have to understand what's going on in the world. Then these things will come into perspective because Trump is another candidate for the agenda of the world, right? Remember, it was Trump that changed the capital of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, right? These things have significance, right? So it's all the play. So he's back again, and it's all a play. That's all I can say about it. Because if we want to go into it, these things they say about conspiracy theory.
Theory, yeah.
It's really not theory, it's practical. Things are going. And conspiracy theory is a word coined by the CIA. So prior to the CIA making the word, there wasn't like one word as conspiracy theory. So they made this word to tag all these hidden truths as spookism, perhaps. So if you ask me, from the gunshot he had, there's somewhere they made reference to that the savior of the Jews will come and he'll be pierced in one ear, in the right ear. Is some serious deep occultic stuff. If you ask me, right? And if you know me well, you know that I'm not about some surface stuff, right? I tend to want to attack the problems from the roots, right? And this is all program.
Wow.
It's not real, right?
It's not real
at all. It's just they are playing with us, right?
Who are they?
The elites, the 1%, the rulers of the world, the corporation owners, the Rothschilds, the royal family, all of these people are playing games with us. Really. Like, this is at the root of the questions you ask me, like, has America, this is it. Right? So the more we just sit down and say, oh, Trump says he's coming to make America great again, he's coming to... All of that is... America was never great.
America was never great.
Never. That's like...
But I've also been hearing some, people have been speaking up, and there's also been prophecies and all that, because I've heard that America is going to be really hit hard this year. That is coming down. That America is going to have its worst economy, its worst this, its worst that this year, 2025, So I don't know what that, because, even though it's America, it's going to affect, of course, it will still affect other people or other countries in the world. But the only thing that I even think I like about one of his many ideologies, or the many things that he has said he's going to do, is this transgender.
Yeah,
because he has said that is either there
are only two genders.
Yeah, male, female, and and they're already putting things in place for all that. Even I saw the other day that Mark Zuckerberg, yes, that there are toilets in the office or whatever. They've removed pads and tampons from the men's toilet. Before it used to be that. So there is now a clear,
Disparity.
yeah. So how do you even think that's going to affect the people of America, yeah, and then other people in other parts of the world going forward?
Well, Trump, that's one thing about Trump. Trump is part of the system, but Trump is outspoken.
Yes.
He's one of those who are not really Trump is a spoiled brat. Yes, you know that kind of thing. So he has that, excuse me, background, and he knows the system. So he will come out and say things that normally they are not allowed to say, right? But I like the fact that he said, because this transhumanism is, I've always said, is we're headed to self-destruct with it, because nature
agree.
made two genders for a reason. And most of these new ideologies, advancements, so to speak, is anti-nature. So that's the Antichrist, not necessarily Trump, but the activities like the AI activities, the transhumanism activities, is anti-life, So anything that is anti-life is automatically anti-God, because the essence of God is procreation, like life, continuity of life, So, but yeah, if you ask me, he's still part of the program.
But he's against that, huh?
Well, he's against that, but he's just like they give you two sides of the coin is the same coin. Yeah. So left and right wing is the same bird. Right. So even if they give you Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, now the same team that they play. Right. So they just have. So it's the same thing if you ask me. The solution to all of these things, first, is free information. Because where we are at now in the world, right, information is being censored. A lot of people. That's the difference between the elites and the commoners. Is information. It's not necessarily riches and power. It's the information, right? Like these things going on. When I look at the world, I just shake my head, because I really do not. I understand what's going on, but I do not get that people do not see. And now I get, because people do not have information. Especially, we are out of touch with our history, because people always ask me, why are you particular about history? If you don't know the past, you will not know like the trend now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How to even move forward.
Exactly. So all of these things are shenanigans, if you ask me. It's just a lot of distraction. Africa is still suffering, right? They are still extorting the hell out of us. They are still funding both sides of the wars. United Nations is still not doing anything after all the projects for food, and the hunger is increasing. So then you ask yourself, what have they been doing? Yeah, so everything is, when I look at the news, I just turn it off, because it's all BS. It's all BS. And it has not changed. It's just the evolve. Right? It has not changed. So Trump is just another.
So you think it will make any difference at all? Because a lot of people are, apprehensive that, he's going to come and shake a lot of things and all that.
Yeah.
Or he's the one that is finally going to bring America down, even though he said he's going to make America great again.
No, he's going to shake a lot of things, yes, but in whose favor? We as Africans need to start looking at these things from a different perspective, right? So Africans are always happy. Oh, America, Trump this. I saw one Nigerian gospel artist in the inauguration. It was like...
Do you know how many Nigerians were at that inauguration?
I mean, it was like a thing of honor for them.
Yeah, religious, all those religious...
So Trump is riding on the religious sentiment.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. But he knows Trump is not a religious guy. We know his life.
He tends to be, we like to
I like say you talk pretend. Because I know how a Christian is supposed to be. And I know not one. Not one. I have like Christians everywhere around me, my family, my friends. I say I no sabi anyone where they live like Christ.
Really?
Not one. If there was, you'll be short-lived like Christ. Yes, because that's what the job is about. It's about laying down your life for what is right, regardless. And don't forget, this is the world of the devil, right? So as a good person, you can't really thrive here. Like, I mean, it's run by the devil.
So all the pastors and
Exactly. There's somewhere in the Bible where it said, we can't skip running into the Bible because, I mean, he said Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights and was out in the wilderness and the devil was there with him and the devil tempted him. Right? He said, jump, they will catch you, you are the Son of God. Right? He said, turn the stones to bread because you're hungry.
Yeah.
He now told him, bow down to me. I'll give you the glory of the world. He even showed it to him actually. Why? He did in hand. You got the whole world in his hands. It's not
that's
God.
Not him.
It's not God.
It's God they were talking about.
You're confusing it. You're confusing it. Satan is the prince of the earth. If you know they read your book well, like
agreed, he's the prince of the earth, but who put him in the earth? Why would Jesus bow? Because Jesus knows that heaven and earth belongs to his father. So why will he bow to somebody?
True. If you have an enemy, right, won't you eradicate the enemy as against relegating him to one of your spots? It doesn't make any sense to me. Devil rebel the presence of God. You can't cast him to Satan where you keep the apple of your eyes to battle with them. Why you not just kill them for their more rest?
Well, that's really...
Exactly. So the point I'm trying to make is that he owns and runs this place, whether you like it or not. The devil, I mean. Like in the scriptural settings, I know what it is. This is all astrology and astronomy.
Yeah, in scriptural settings. Yeah, because he was pushed down to this to the earth. And then I think he was given the, what will I call it now? The franchise. Or what will we call it? To run the earth. So it's not like
He's got the whole world.
I don't know about that, but the Almighty God, God was in consent. So he's here with consent.
Exactly. So God gave him the place to run.
True that.
Where does that keep you as the apple of God's eye?
You've not heard this word is not my own.
But why God go make you from heaven, keep you for earth, may you struggle to go back heaven?
It's questionable.
Because if you
are singing hallelujah in heaven, they now brought you here. You now have to fight. That's some of the things that.
See, this
sometimes when you think about it,
this whole thing
does not add
is
up.
BS.
Wow.
Like, I'm saying it with my full chest, right? Because I have looked into it. I not just the talk because I feel, right? I don't look inside the thing. So, devil what did he say to Christ? It's all analogy, non-history. It's all analogy. He now told him that, look, bow down to me, I'll give you the glory of the earth. What do you think the glory of the world is? Fast cars, money in the highest currency, girls, mansions. All your favorite pastors have all of this. How did they get it?
I wouldn't know.
I know. I know how they got it. They bowed.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, because one of the Beatitudes, you know about the Beatitudes, are like attributes for the children of God. One of them are long suffering.
Yeah.
These people are not ready to suffer. And the whole, everything you're doing is wrong because you can't go to night vigil and pray all night for your enemy to die by fire when your father told you he'll make a table before you in the presence of the enemies. So when you kill all of them, how then does it come to pass? See, religious folks are the most delusional people walking the face of the earth, right? We need to deconstruct. That's where our road to freedom will start, right? When we because I cannot overemphasize the Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885, where 14 European countries came together, to share up Africa for themselves. Yes, that's what. So the borders we have in Africa today is as a result of the Berlin Conference. Yes, we didn't used to have a border. Africa was one big state, right? So in this meeting, it was for 3 months and 14 days thereabouts.
They had a meeting for 3 months.
Yes.
3 months.
They were discussing everything else. They were discussing about our society, our spirituality and everything. And in this meeting, they said, I've forgotten this guy's name, but he sent a letter to the parliament where he said he has walked the length and breadth of Africa and he hasn't found no beggar, no low life. And this is because of their culture and their spirituality and all of that. So if we make them believe everything European is good and all African is bad, they can be a truly conquered people. So you have to understand that this is deliberate, right? The fact that we are here, religious, church and mosque in every corner, but the crime and vice is on the high, is deliberate. It is the plan. It is not, it didn't just happen, right? So when you talk about the state of Nigeria, right? The state of Black people, right? And the state of Africa, like as compared to the world, this is the root cause of the issue because we have lost ourselves, right? We are other than ourselves, right? So your spirituality as a human being lies in the core of your culture, right? So when you lose your culture, you lose it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So Christianity, right, is the European culture, right? So they put their culture in their spirituality. That's how it is. That's why when the indigenous priests want to libate or do some incantations, it's always in their tongue. You get why? Because your tongue has certain vibrations that will resonate with the ancestors and your tribe, as against English. You see? So when you want to look at the state of Nigeria or Africa, you guys look at from this standpoint because we're backward mostly because we're the only people in the world that worship a God that don't look like us. Just check it out. Not only us. Our Lord and Savior, they like European.
According to them, because really we don't know what it looks like really because
we do.
Do you?
Revelations 1:14 and 15 in that same book says his hair was white as wool, his eyes was as unto burning flames, and his feet was like unto fine brass.
Meaning?
Bronze. This is the color of bronze. His feet was like unto fine bronze.
Bronze, yes, that's okay.
So who the hell is the guy hanging in the churches? It is there in the book where you say you believe with all your life. You did inside, but no. Do you get? And if you were made in his image and his likeness, why is he not in your image? He's in your oppressor's image. If to say white person, no, they're a different thing. But white person, they...
Maybe because it's the white man that brought it, so he has to bring it in his own image.
Exactly,
does not mean that
exactly.
He cannot be in your own image, in your own mind.
He can't because the white man brought it in his own image and made the devil in your own image.
True.
Right?
Okay.
So in African spirituality, we do not have a concept for devil. Right? It's just negative and positive energy. And two of them, they serve their purpose. Day and night get equal and opposite purpose. You cannot say because the night is dark is bad. Right? So in the Yoruba cultural system, they made Eshu the devil because Eshu in that paradigm is a trickster. in the wrong things a certain way. He's wise, and so as much as people do not want to hear it, if you pray for a better Nigeria, you have to deconstruct from the Western religion. You guys come out yourself from a religion where talk say you be descendant of the cursed child of Ham, like the cursed child of Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you can see him papa naked and he no cover him. So when he wake up in cause, and if you check the Bible, it goes to say now Kush and Egypt and Sudan and all the African countries now be the children of Kush. Then Europe is the children of Japheth. I can't subscribe to such religion. Plus, I was not born in sin. I was born divine. I learned sin here.
No. Because
No for you.
wow. Because it is said in the Bible, like Adam and Eve sinned, of course. And then we are offsprings.
The Bible was put together in the First Council of Nicaea by Constantine. William Shakespeare was one of the translators. William Shakespeare has his signature in the Bible, right? So these men were not men of faith, right? So we have to understand these things, right? So now why when someone writes a book, there's the author's background behind. You get why? So you have to know the psychology of the author. Yeah. So when you read the book, you understand like where his mind is at. That's not the case for the Bible, right? So in the Bible, they say it was written by God. No, please.
No God now, but inspired.
God didn't inspire shit. Yes, because the people, King James and Constantine, right, legalized Christianity in the Roman Empire because of political reasons. It wasn't really about conviction, right? King James as well did not write it because it was political. He wanted to unite the islands, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Scotland, because he was the first king. This guy beheaded his mother alongside, like he connived with the Queen of England, right? This guy was gay. So what kind of moral stuff? This guy had an obsession with demonology. So his best-selling book wasn't the Bible, it was Demonology by King James. So you need to understand the people who prescribe your spiritual circumference to you. So most of these things religious people do is really what the ancients tag as devil worship, right? Because your God is jealous, he's consuming fire, what kind of father will send his son to save lost souls? Spill the blood. Like we're going deep into religion now, but it is the fabric of everything else, right? So Nigeria will never be great unless we stand up to act as against going to pray. So that thing where Peter Obi been talk some time ago, it was from a right thought paradigm, even though he is a religious person. But in the say, these people are fanatics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to be practical. Faith without works is dead. Heaven helps those who help themselves.
That one is not in the Bible, though.
Is not?
It's not.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
People just say it. It's just like, it's not in the Bible.
I'll check it and get back. Because
okay.
I'm not certain it is there, but it is a saying that goes along with the Bible.
Exactly, but it is not in the Bible.
So I was going to ask, so if heaven helped those who help themselves, what does heaven really do for you? Because if you help yourself, you go move regardless.
Yeah, and that's why, like I think I mentioned in one of our earlier videos about people who travel abroad, people who are Christians here and churchgoers and, almost fanatics. And then they leave the shores of Nigeria, maybe go to the US, Europe and all that. And then you find out that they are not as religious as they were here because they have everything going. Not like they have a perfect life, but they have order and, everything. They don't have to pray for the
basic things.
Like they don't have to pray for NEPA to bring lights. you know, they don't have to pray that, oh, I need to get to
Let me
work.
tell you the
You know,
main
those kind
reason
of things.
why.
So you now begin to wonder. So there, if you want to go to church or whatever, it's because, okay, you want to, not because you feel like you need to
Yeah, I feel like
survive.
it's just to fulfill all righteousness. You know why it's
Mm-hmm.
different over there? These people now orchestrate these things serve unto us. So they know the recipe. They know that this thing doesn't work, right? So they run their society as such, right? So when you go there, they do the work to get the results. They do not pray. They do not attach it to
Because
God. They do not.
life has its
Do you
principles.
understand? God cannot come down and give you a job. God has given you
A
brains.
brain.
He don't give you 2 legs and 2 hands. He don't give you people around. He don't give you. Do you get what I mean? So they know. As a matter of fact, in England and other islands, they don't sell their church buildings because people know they turn up for services anymore. So not only us stay here, they carry on for head. And Christians are so confused about. See, I'm saying the Bible is a storybook, right? So even in the story, like they do not even know the story in the book, right? I'm saying this because of things like speaking in tongues, because you can't just come and say gibberish. I asked one girl, she said, we're trying to confuse the devil. I said, devil, we dey rebel the presence of God. Carry me march.
Have you?
Now you must be joking. Right? So they will say, start speaking gibberish. But the first account of this thing in the Bible was when the disciples were in the upper room
Day
and
of
the tongues of fire
Pentecost.
fell upon their head and they spoke what? In other tongues.
Other tongues. Yeah.
As per Ibibio man will start to speak
Yeah.
Igala,
Mm-hmm.
who ain't no sabi before. So the Igala
And
man
somebody,
there go say, oh, this
go
makes sense to
understand.
me. This is a message for me from God, because the messenger no comprehend. So what then is what all these things they are doing in churches? If me will be pagan, Sabiam, and your pastor, the head one, doesn't know, or you be sheep or highest because you just dey follow goats. I mean, do you understand what I mean? And that's not the only painful part. This is $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
We know they give back to the
That
community.
one I agree. No, some do give back now.
No. It's negligible compared to what you get. You cannot be having hundreds of billions and give 20K and carry all your camera and everybody, and you know what I mean? And why they know they go crusade, go UPTH or Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, they will carry the people come their auditorium, their show house. Jesus, who now the propagate, was walking up and down. Do you understand? So I'm going deep into all these things too much, but you have to understand that for the man to act right, the software that's the right. The software now that your religious persuasion. So if it carry 2027 Mac computer, so once you install 1999 software on it, it go dey behave like computer, like water game. You get what I mean? So that's what's happening to us, especially as Black people. Especially, and this thing, they interpret for our society, for our family first, because I go marry wife. The wife will tell me, say, now Jesus be ahead. You must be mad. You go pack, go Jesus' house. Do you get what I mean? So, Jesus don't collect our girl. You understand? He don't collect our
Christ
girl,
don't collect your girl.
collect our culture, collect our food, everything. Guy don't disarm us.
Wow.
Do you understand? So, and it beats my imagination to see a woman who's religious, like a Christian, when the Bible says you ain't shit.
I didn't get that.
The Bible says you ain't shit as a woman.
Where did that one happen?
He says that, like, there's somewhere Jesus was teaching and Mary Magdalene was there. Mary Magdalene was one of the disciples of Christ anyway. They now said that she should go outside, so that she's not supposed to stay here and listen, that if a woman wants to talk, she should wait till she gets home and ask her husband. And
Yeah.
all of that, and sin came through Eve and all of that BS, and she's not supposed to climb the altar because of her circle, and like where is your place? And then you come out from church and come out to the society and now be telling me about equal rights. You are delusional. You are sitting on the fence. You be baboya. Do you understand? Because the thing where you dey carry for head now, the very thing where they put you down. Do you get what I mean? And she did not come out from our side. That never happened. We came out from her vagina, all of us. Every single one of us.
Good to know. Good to
Every single one
that
of
one
us.
has been acknowledged.
Do you understand? So, we need to recalibrate. It is very important. See these things while they talk here. It is very important for us to recalibrate. If we do not recalibrate, our society will never be good. See, anywhere in the world, just quote me, and anytime, even if it's 2056. See, if we do not wake up, that's why the world looks us like fools, because your essence, that's like your spirituality, they reflect you. How bad can it be? I know saying that the unseen, they control.
Yeah.
That's why we have inferiority complex. That's why we want to bleach to be white. That's why we say, Igbo people if not for Igbo people rubbish talk. Because Africa civilized Europe 2 times. Like, we are their mothers and their fathers. Yes, we need to know it. We need to know everything. No, there's no European that invented everything. We invented everything. From the light bulb to phones to jets to electric dams to plotting the skies, cosmology and anthropology and all the ology, Yes, we did everything. So people will always ask, why are we here now?
Exactly.
Right? So you have to understand that Africa had respect for life, the motherland. So there's this thing called Ankh. The Ankh, right? So the Ankh is the symbol of life, the key of life. So it's like a loop and then something in between, then something down. So it's like the cross, but there's a loop on top. So that loop on top represents the feminine energy, like the womb where the child will grow, right? The one down represents the male productive organ, right? So when these two come together, it brings life, like a child, So we understood. So even we did not have concepts for slavery or homeless or thief or all of that, right? So even yes, there were like wars, of course, human beings won't conquer. But we did this with principles. We did this with respect to life. We did this with Ma'at. Ma'at is like the woman of justice. So Ma'at in the ancient African thing is what the European people changed to the justice woman. So that's Ma'at, right? So in the ancient times, she had that thing they used to cover her face, right?
Yeah.
It was like a bandana. She would wear and use and hold like feather to her head. So, and she would spread her wings like this for balance. So the idea is that when you die, right, they'll weigh your heart against Ma'at's feather. So your heart better be lighter than the feather. So for your heart to be lighter than the feather, you walk to the earth with a clean heart, no jealousy, no hate, no envy, right? So if you did all those things, your heart will be heavy. So that's the scale, that's the balance. So that feather, right? So if your heart is heavy, you're not going to hellfire. Some animal will just eat your heart and then you will have a fresh start at life. That's how the Africans understood it.
When they eat your heart, you don't die.
No, you don't die. You come back, you repeat class. That's what it is. Like when you fail, you repeat the class you failed until you pass, right? So that's the African paradigm to it, right? So that whole party there is what this is in the papyrus of Ani. Like, it's just one thing. They depict stuff. You see the 12 juries, you see the system, you see the judge, and that thing, that's where the Europe got their whole justice system from. So everything is from us. I can't overemphasize the fact that Africa was the first in everything, so that we will know where we are now and know how to recalibrate and know why we're here. So when we talk about, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, it doesn't really make any meaning to me talking about it. You know, what makes more meaning to me is talking about how we got here. Most people think our beginning is slavery. No, right? We were kings and queens before we became slaves. And mind you, before the Europeans came, Islam has messed us up. Yeah, so Islam taught the West, the so-called Middle East taught the West how to trade us.
Really?
Yeah, so the Europeans came to meet an already bastardized people. So when they asked, why can't we fight? Why can't
That's why it was easy.
This is why, yes, it was easy. You know, so religion is a problem. That's the essence of this, my whole long story.
Exactly. So how do we move from here? You know, individually, as a person, how do you move from being a religious person to being a spiritual person?
Like I believe I have started making the shift already. I'm not religious by any means, right? And yes, it has to be an individual thing. The way they say the Christ heavenly race is a personal thing.
Yeah, so you run your
So
race.
yes, it has to be. We we have to like me now. I've deconstructed a great deal, right? I'm still in the matrix, right? Let's not get that wrong. I'm still in the paradigm, but I'm far from a lot of people, right? In the sense that I'm African, I think African. Well, I don't eat African or dress African yet. I'm getting there, you know, but the thought paradigm has changed. That's like the most important
Do you
thing.
pray?
Yes, I pray, but I'm trying to define what prayer is, right? So ordinarily, prayer is something like is affirmations really, right? Like for me, okay, prayer is like sending messages out through the universe, right? Like I know that this air between us is alive. Like what I just did now, things moved, but we can't see it. So if you bring smoke here now, you will see the visual effects. It not be the smoke they move, now the air molecules. They move the smoke, right? So that's why speech is vibration. So once I speak, the thing will permeate the room. I think it's called osmosis in solid stuff. What was it called? No, it's diffusion in, I can't remember. It's the concept of diffusion. So from area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration, right? So that's what it is. So I'll speak to the air. I'm trying to explain what my prayer is. So I'll speak to the air since the universe is alive, right? And so when I speak, it will go out into the world and come back, like the echo effect, right? It's vibration. It will go and it will come.
So where does it go?
It goes into the universe. So this earth we're living is a full blown living thing. You guys know first. Say this earth where you live inside, now living thing first is alive and well. It is here. It give us signals. Yes, right. So that's why I do. Sometimes when I'm stressed, like most times, I really don't do that so often because of urbanization. Before you will find forest or tree, they hard, right? So just go and hug a tree.
So
That thing they
just come
very
and carry you
important.
that are you okay?
See, you get why. You get why. That tree, they give off oxygen where you need.
But you already have that.
And they take away carbon dioxide where you don't need. There's something. There's something. Right? Now the trees, they give off the oxygen where we need to survive. Those trees. Then they take away the carbon dioxide where we don't need.
So what does hugging a tree do for you?
It will take away the stress. That's what I'm saying. Like negative energy. Like there's also something called earthing, right? Where you go come out your shoe.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's the same
I've heard of
ideology.
that.
So electrons go, you are an electromagnetic hub. Let's start there. So like when someone is losing his or her life, they shock you with electricity. You get why? They try jumpstart your heart and your brain. So you are pure energy, like electricity, right? So once you put your feet on the ground, even like when they erect poles and all of that, then get earthing, right? So they will draw a string and put it directly to the earth. You get why? That same principle will apply to you as a human being. You see? So that tree where they tell you say I go hug gets that energy the way they run inside them. That photosynthesis.
Specific
they get
type of
energy
tree.
from the
Sorry.
sun. No.
Any tree.
All trees. So when they get photosynthesis from the sun, it goes down and comes. So there's a complete circuitry loop there. So you can exchange like the bad energy for. So the earth, we need to know this. You understand? So all these our plastic things, who they do, we throw away plastic. We have
that
things that
plastic
cannot
thing, yeah.
biodegrade. Do you understand? This is now it feels like we're advanced, but we are not. Because the ancients who were advanced did not pollute the earth. They harnessed the energy such that the earth self go dey gbadun, right? So you go dey poison the earth. Like, so we're not really we need to recalibrate. That's the bottom line of all of this.
How? That's
what I'm saying.
How?
Just shun Western and Middle Eastern religion first.
Which one is Middle Eastern?
Islam.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because now Islam first mess us up before all those African civilizations they always call for you, like the Songhai Empire. No, Islamic stuff. Mansa Musa. When they discover say Mali gets so much gold, now when they go pilgrimage from Mali to Mecca, he distributed so much gold that it distorted the economies along his way. So the Muslims took all our temples and our things and converted them to mosques and killed off every other African that did not agree to be Muslim. So we need to, that's the first step for me. I've been saying this thing. Shun Western religion first. Not just Western.
But would you say that, as
in fact,
much...
shun Jewish religion. That's the best thing to say, because the Jewish thing begot Christianity, Islam first, and then Christianity. So it's a Jewish triangle.
Okay. As much as, I believe in that, okay, we should embrace our culture, go back to find our roots, go back to our roots and the way we used to do it because it was working then. But then you would also agree that this religion thing, whether Christianity or Islam, it is actually working for some people. So what would you say about that? Because if it is working for some people, it may be difficult for you to say leave.
It's not working.
They are leaving. Because if you...
Okay, what's the essence?
There are some people who, they are stuck in church and all that because they believe that they got some miracles from the church. Maybe somebody that something was doing or something and then went to church and they pray and then he got healed, or somebody got a major breakthrough from the church because his pastor laid hands on him and then he got a major breakthrough, or his life turned around and all that. How do you begin to tell that kind of person that you got to shun this thing and you have to go and start worshiping Shango?
Most people, it's not about worshiping Shango. Okay. We'll get to that. Most people are delusional. I like to call them Dilulu. Right? Because the power is in your mind.
Yeah.
Wherever attention goes, energy flows. Right? So I have had miracles in my life and I'm not religious. Right? I have had... The other day, I was just thinking about one time I was working with one dredging company. So we mobilized the equipment for the first time to the location, right? And there was this badge on our equipment. So me and my guy, we crossed to this other side to the barge to just have a good time and all, gist and look at the water and everything. By the time we're done, the water don't drift the two things apart. Now water now, as the tides they go, things don't drift them apart. How do we go back on board without the supervisors finding out that we went to?
Wow.
Right? So we now called one guy. The guy, he wasn't my friend like that, but the guy came through. So he brought the operational boat to that place, and the current was high, right?
Wow.
So this thing I'm saying, I just thought about it some days ago that I would have died, right? So I was trying to get into the boat, but the current no they allow. So at some point, I don't miss my step, and then my hand just did on the barge, barely, and I they go under like this. Do you understand? Just imagine that my hand went off. And the grip wasn't tight, right? So while I was thinking about it.
So how did you?
Exactly. I was telling myself that it had to be some incredible Hulk power that held my hand there. That's why I brought up the story. Because thinking about it, I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared as, but I no fall inside the water. For some reason, no be only that time. When I first got my car, and I saw they get different accident things. Like, there was one, after it happened, I just went home. I didn't drive for like 2 days because I was traumatized.
Wow.
Right? No be, if I was a Christian, I go do Thanksgiving. Buy yam and chicken. Call my guys. You get what I mean? But I was saved by something.
Definitely,
Exactly. So because I know that nature's got me, right? And his mother, I ain't doing some father shit. Right? Yes, now my primordial supreme deity is feminine. It is not a man. Do you understand? Because she begot us all. Do you understand? So I knew, even in school, when I had issues graduating, I had problems. I couldn't read year 2 courses at year 5. Because how you want to read fluid mechanics when you don't pass them like 4 years ago? I mean, when you don't pass that stage 4 years. I mean, and now you are thinking about real life. I was just walking there aimlessly. One guy just walked up to me. Senior man, they do this thing. Why not talk? Why not talk? Before you know, he hooked me up with somebody that showed me, and I did it. Like, do you get what I mean? So normally now, if I be a religious person, I go say Jesus. How did they say it? Miracle, no, they tired Jesus.
But there's a funny thing that the fact that you don't believe in Jesus does not mean that he's not got your back. You know that.
He may get disembarked from my back. Fast.
Because you have, just like you have agreed that there was something, there is something.
I don't tell you the thing now. Now the great primordial mother. Yes, now Nun and the other things like Shoots and Tefnut and Jehuti and the other.
Who are those?
They are forces in nature. That's what I'm trying to say. As a human being, you are a part and parcel of nature. Right? You are a product of nature. In fact, you are like the limited edition. That's not the right. You're like the apex. Not really apex, but you are like you are like the consciousness made manifest, right? So it is us, really. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you are nature speaking and moving and talking.
So are you?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, how do you now communicate? How do you communicate?
That's my point. Because you are part of it, it's easy to communicate. Like, you have every mineral in nature is in your body. You have gold in your body. You have silver. You have manganese. You have potassium. You have calcium. You have all of the minerals in the earth is in your body. Right? So by this medium alone, you can communicate. We are dust, for Christ's sake. Now mud be this mud, like where they run on blood. Basic. right? So you can speak to the mods in the earth and the mods will comprehend. It's just a vibration thing. We're not vibrating like that, right? We're not thinking in that direction. So for Bluetooth device to pair, you guys stay ready. You know, if you just waka they pair, you have to be ready to pair and accept the synchrony. Do you understand? So we have like, we are the thing we are looking for up in the sky. No sky daddy is coming to save nobody. Nobody.
So who is there?
Nobody. It's just skies and other spheres. Nothing
think
there. I know so. If not, jets and pilots for the bump into heaven.
No, now they are not on the same. They are higher. So what
Higher
would you
where?
I don't
Out
know.
of space. I mean. So higher is here in the consciousness. It's not a place up there. Your body is the temple of God for Christ's sakes. I can't believe I'll be teaching Christians what their book says. Right? Your body is the temple. So you dey carry God, they walk up and down. He's not in a building.
Yeah, I know that.
Now only idol, graven image like Mary if he stay for building. God can't dwell there. God dwells in you. And it's not a he, for Christ's sake.
Our Father.
It is
who art
not
in heaven.
our father. Who begot your father? Mother God's day to begot your. Abi your father, your fall come out.
I don't know.
Exactly. And the way, like, since na image and likeness, the way you form, na so God they use form, or the way God form, na so they use form, because that's how He made you. Right? So, see, these are the things, right? An African needs to know that. Okay. See this thing they always say about. I'm saying all these things because it's connected to our physical development. Right? So the ancients achieved civilization not because they built skyscrapers, but because they mastered themselves in relation to the environment, to the earth. So the average ancient guy be know the mineral domain, the plant domain, the animal domain, then the human domain, then the astral side. Because when you ask yourself, when you sleep, which eye do you see? Have you asked yourself that question?
Do you see when you are sleeping?
Of course you do see. How you see person for your dream?
Yeah, that's if you are dreaming.
I mean, of course, you guys they dream. Now say you know they remember. Everybody dreams.
Yeah, I know.
Of
Everybody
course. So
dreams.
what ear do you hear with in your dream? Because I don't daydream, wake up, hear, remember the thing why I hear.
Definitely.
So how did you hear when you are asleep?
That's another consciousness.
Exactly. That is the, not another. That same consciousness they inside ants. Yeah. It's the same life force. It's the same life force. It's the same thing manifested in different. You understand? So we are like this right now in Nigeria and in Africa because we are not vibrating right. We know they think right. We know they eat right. We are not in harmony with the planet. Now why she go open up, make some people enter inside. You get what I mean? So first off, we need to understand who we are. It's very important. It's very, very. So when you say, it's something I'm working on anyway. So when you say, I'm a Nigerian. So what is Nigeria? Who made you Nigerian? Like, how are you Nigerian? Who named it Nigeria? Right? So you have to understand that it was a business interest. Right? So,
yeah.
So Nigeria is a corporation owned by the British. Right? So it was business, really. Right? So you have to know that. So when you say, oh, let Nigeria be great, I laugh. Because the British Empire is still ruling. The southern Nigeria was run by a government, by a corporation called the National African Company. It was first the United African Company, and then the National African Company, and then the Royal Niger Company, right? So this company ran de facto as government in the South, right? But the CEO was a British guy, Totman Goldie, right? So his aim was to make a British empire through commerce, right? So the British government endorsed him for two reasons. One, they wanted to dominate the area, the trade, right? So they wanted to remove the middlemen because when they were doing, after the slave trade, when they were doing the palm oil thing, the Europeans were not going into the hinterland. So they were doing the trade along the coast like Bonny, Brass. So the middlemen became wealthy, right? So the British government did not like that. So they wanted to, so they started moving for the direct colonial, direct protectorate and all of that. So Goldie had already established the place, right, and was ruling. So they had some issues, interest, British government interest, Goldie interest, African interest. So they now bought up the place from him. Like they actually paid Goldie to acquire the land he has been operating on, the southern Nigeria, the Niger area, actually, like the Niger. They paid him 800 and something thousand pounds in 1900s. 685,000 pounds. It is not about democracy, right? It is business. So when they bought it, they now had the monopoly of trade, right? So Kemi, you know Kemi now. Kemi who needs a bad knock on her head,
Yeah.
She said British abolished slavery. Yes, they did, but it was for a reason, right? So they had already built the infrastructure over there and the industries. So there was no use for human merchandise anymore. Meanwhile, there was palm oil boom.
Yeah.
So when they say oil rivers, it wasn't originally crude. It was palm oil, right? So they came to take this palm oil to service their machinery. So now palm oil, they use to run their machineries for synthetic engine oil and all that. Okay. So she did not abolish from a moral standpoint. She abolished because there was no use for slaves anymore. So they don't carry industrialization, cover the slave labor, then still collect our palm oil. They service them. So when you say let Nigeria be great again, you obviously do not know the history. Because for this area to be great, we gas denounce the name Nigeria, right? We have to follow the steps of Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger.
Yeah.
I always say this. This is the only time Africa is truly free. Only time. Because those people don't pursue France. They don't come out the CFA franc as their official currency. They don't come out French language.
I even heard that they've stopped the use of wigs for their lawyers.
Exactly.
Exact.
So see, that guy, Traore, he's like 36, so.
He's doing great too.
That guy is the Christ. We're supposed to put in picture for every household on every corner in Africa. That guy has survived like 15 attempts in 2 years of assassination. Wow. So people are not understanding that. We will say Africa is this, Africa is that. Why are we not? It's actually happening, but you cannot see because you've been westernized in your head. You cannot. They call them junta rebel leaders. That's what they call them. Just because favor the West.
Yeah.
And you have to be wary because our president is in bed with France right now. You have to
I
be
don't
wary.
understand.
If you know the history, you understand that England and France has always fought for West African territories. Always. So this is now one of the chess moves. So what they did, the mandate they gave to Chamberlain gave to Lord Lugard was to set up an English base next to every French base. That time. So that's how Lord Lugard conquered the North with the Maxine gun. You know, do I mean no go tell them, say, we love you, come and take Christ and some candy.
Wow.
Then use Maxine gun, shoot their ghost, everything. You know, so that's how the amalgamation thing happened. So he was given the task of uniting the North. Already the North had the Muslim structure. So they just went to take the head. But now the South be the problem because we rebelled. So when they asked, we did not fight. Now lie, a lot of people fought. People like King Jaja of Opobo, when they deceived them and they signed the treaties and they saw that these treaties did detrimental to them and they went against it. You know, so they forced King Jaja of Opobo to exile. So he was in exile for the longest time. So when they say, okay, we're forgiving you, okay, if you come now, as soon as they come, then poison them. There's another guy, King Koko of Nembe, right? When he saw what happened to King Jaja, he was mad. So the first thing he did was to denounce Christianity because it was obvious to him that these people don't come trick also. And there's that saying that when they came, they said, oh, close your eyes, let's pray. Before that, we had our lands in our hands and they had the Bible, right? So as we close our eyes to pray, after the prayer, they had our land, we had the Bible.
Jesus.
So that Shell, Exxon, Mobil, all of those people. So back to King Koko, right? When he denounced Christianity, he now saw that these people are trying to deceive us. So he now denounced, and he now took his men and marched to the Royal Niger property, because then it was the Royal Niger who signed these treaties with them. So the British inherited the Royal Niger treaties, right? So he attacked the facility. He abducted like 60 of their people, right? In the course, he lost 40 of his men.
Wow.
So when he came back, he now told them, okay, I'll release these people on one condition. The treaty is null and void. I'll do my free trade. They say, no, we don't do negotiations with terrorists. He killed 40 of the people to cancel out his men. You know, so that's when the Royal Navy bombarded Nimbe. You'll never hear that the Royal Navy bombarded Nimbe. They brought the place to the ground.
Wow.
To the ground. So he ran on exile. So they were looking for him. He was running up and down. They now say, okay, come, you are being pardoned. He said no. He killed himself instead.
Wow.
There were a lot of them like that. There were some Africans who went to the Caribbean to bring back slaves. They're not going to tell you that one. They will tell you, say, they sell us for mirror. How can they deceive you with mirror when Enugu or so, somewhere in the east, has the oldest smelting site in the world? So we had technology, we knew metallurgy, we knew electricity, we knew how to work the light bulb. And you say, now mirror, come on. That's like a fat lie. So when you think about Nigeria, think about the fact that we're not free. Do you know why they abolished slavery, or they supposedly gave us our freedom? Because they held us with 3 chains. One day our leg, one day our hand, one day our brain.
Now that brain one.
So that brain one don't consolidate. Then come say, come out the hand and leg.
Wow.
So at them blow whistle, you will come back. Yes. So Jesus, when they use finish us, was not a person. That's what I was going to say. J no did the Jewish alphabet. So it was Yeshua. So
Yeah,
Jesus, na Greek thing, we mean Hail Zeus. Jesus. You get what I mean? So Jesus, in contact with the black people, was a slave ship, right? So one of the slave ships that sailed from America, sanctioned by the Pope, by the way.
Slave ships.
Yes, and the Queen. Yes, there was a church where, I've forgotten the place, that was built on slave holdings. Then, like the bunker day where they keep slave, then built church on top. So you have to understand this Christianity thing. All the slave voyages that came had priests on them, praying for safe journey and securing the merchandise with prayers. So if they said they are coming to save your soul, so what soul are they saving when they had reduced it to merchandise already? So the slave ship was called Jesus of Lubeck. It was in 1565. Jesus of Lubeck. So that was the first time we're hearing about Jesus. And it stands for something. Joint European Slave Union Ship. JESUS. Joint European Slave Union Ship. Nobody is saving your soul. Nobody.
Really?
Yeah.
But that Jesus is a name. Is a name, not just a ship. Like people bear Jesus, apart from Jesus of Nazareth.
So
of
before
course.
Christianity, was there Jesus?
Yeah, I think there was.
I think not. I don't think I know. Not. There's nothing like that. You dig? So the point is, this thing wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for us, right? So they had to demonize our ways to make this sell. Do you understand? So if we want to make our society better, our families better, we have to start by deconstructing.
We have to detox.
Yes, exactly. So the unit, the family unit is the basic, right? So there are problems there because they say Christ is the head of the family. I've had them talk and say Christ is the head of the man.
Head of the church.
The head of the man, and the woman is the under of the man.
Christ is the head of the church. I mean, man is the head. I don't know.
So it's not. We need to take back our stuff. Really.
Go back to the roots.
Yeah, but now our roots have been bastardized as well.
I mean, we don't
so,
even have roots again.
Yeah, we do, but it's embedded in your DNA. We need to look inwards now, right? Like that's why sometimes you hear some stuff that is strange to your belief, but it hits you. Like you'll be like, oh, even if your pastor say no be you go as go to sleep, you go to ring. It's because the information there your memory card already. The person just hit the storage place and the thing don't shake you out. And over time, that thing will define you. You know, so we need to consciously make this move. A lot of people not ready for this thing. And truth is, now I'm beginning to realize when they say ignorance is bliss.
Exactly.
Because these people, these foolish people, they're happy scatter. I don't even know where the joy is coming from. They're happy with every damn thing. But once you know the truth, you'll be sad. Small thing, as you just come out, just observe, you'll be like, oh man, this thing has gone so deep. And when you say, they'll say, oh, he's mad. Is that thing he's smoking? Or he's no man, I'm not devil. Do you understand? So that's what they've done to the information. They don't try to do them in such a way they say you run away from it, but everything is dependent on it.
Okay.
We need to deconstruct. That's the bottom line from Christianity and Islam.
Wow. If I say we should go, we will not leave here today. So guys, you have heard it once again, because this is not the first time you'll be hearing Dapuye telling us this, but you have heard it again. So to thrive this year, 2025, and even going forward, because it's not like they say, it's not going to get easier.
Sorry for jumping. The calendar is wrong as well.
They say it's 13 months.
The calendar is wrong because if you know math and numbers don't lie, Octon is 8, but it's not the 8th month.
It's the 10th month.
Decagon is 10, but December is not the 10th month.
Okay.
So when you say this year 20 is all mixed up still.
Okay. Please. I'm happy I correct. So please, guys, we need to do a lot of detoxing, and then we need to go back to the roots. We need to, there's this thing they say, and I think this is part of the reason why they got us real deep, because we don't read. We don't go back. Even some of you watching me right now, you are thinking, some of the things he's saying, is resonating, but then one part of your mind is saying, I beg, no, I don't want to. You need to open up your mind.
Yeah.
Open up your mind. Go and do this research. Funny enough, all these things are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's history. It's not story. It's history.
And
so if you go searching, you will see.
Yeah.
Please, let's be more spiritual this year and not just religious.
Exactly.
Because how far has religious gotten us?
Sorry, and your book says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah.
Not faith, not belief, but
Wow,
knowledge.
that's another one. Hey, we are going. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe so that you know when I come out with new videos, or when next I bring Dapuye to the studio. And also click the like button, and also share this video, and follow us on all our social media handles at The Eagle Online. Be spiritual, don't be religious.
Hotep.
Bye for now.